The first contact. The starship Vigilant drifted silently through the Kuiper Belt, its advanced sensors probing the darkness beyond Neptune's orbit. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the bridge's observation window, her dark eyes fixed on the distant stars. After 15 years of deep space exploration, humanity had grown confident in their solitude, perhaps too confident. Contact. Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice cut through the quiet. Unknown signature at bearing 340 Mark II. Chen turned, her expression unchanging despite the gravity of the moment. Classification. Nothing in our database, Captain. But Rodriguez paused, double-checking his readings. It's big, really big, and it's using some kind of drive system we've never seen before. The bridge crew fell silent. Humanity had launched hundreds of probes, established colonies on Mars and Europa, and ventured deeper into space than any generation before them. But in all that time, they'd found no signs of intelligent life. Until now. Show me, Chen ordered, moving to the main tactical display. The hologram flickered to life, revealing a massive vessel unlike anything in Earth's fleet. Its hull seemed to bend light around it, making it difficult to focus on any single section. It was beautiful, alien, and terrifying all at once. They're scanning us. Commander David Walsh reported from his station. Comprehensive sweep. Wait. His console erupted in warnings. Captain, they're accessing our databases through some kind of quantum intrusion. Our firewalls are useless. Chen's jaw tightened. Initiate shutdown procedures. Too late, Walsh interrupted. They've already downloaded everything. Ship logs, Earth's historical archives, military records, everything. Before Chen could respond, the alien vessel vanished, leaving behind only a lingering energy signature that quickly dissipated into the void. The entire encounter had lasted less than 5 minutes. Get me Earth Command, Chen ordered. Priority Alpha. The response from Earth was swift but unexpected. Instead of panic or military mobilization, Chen's report was classified at the highest levels. The Vigilant was ordered to maintain position and await further instructions. 3 days later, a second alien ship appeared. This one made no attempt to hide, broadcasting a message on all frequencies in perfect English. We are the archivists. Your existence has been noted. Prepare to receive representatives. The message was followed by coordinates, the United Nations headquarters in New York City. Within hours, the world learned it was not alone. But as global media exploded with speculation and crowds gathered in cities worldwide, a select few began piecing together a disturbing truth. The archivists' quantum intrusion hadn't just been about gathering information. Hidden in the wake of their digital invasion were fragments of encrypted data, accidentally left behind in their haste. Dr. Emily Patel, the Vigilance quantum systems specialist, worked tirelessly to decrypt these fragments. What she found changed everything. They've been watching us, she explained to Chen in her lab, surrounded by holographic data streams. Not just recently, for centuries, and they're not alone out there. There's an entire galactic community, dozens, maybe hundreds of spacefaring species. But look at this. She pulled up a decoded message fragment. It was part of a report, written in an alien script but translated by their quantum computers. Human technological progression. 47% above projected curves. Recommendation. Immediate intervention to prevent further advancement. Status. Approved by Galactic Council. Chen felt a chill run down her spine. They're not here to welcome us. No, Patil agreed. They're here to control us. And based on these fragments, they've done this before to other species. Young civilizations that developed too quickly, that threatened the established order. As the archivist ship descended toward Earth, humanity faced a choice. They could accept whatever terms these ancient watchers offered, taking their place as a controlled and limited species, or they could resist, challenging beings who had mastered technologies they barely understood. But the archivists had made one critical mistake. In their arrogance, they had revealed their hand too soon, and humanity had never responded well to threats. Within the Pentagon's deepest levels, in a room that officially didn't exist, military leaders gathered around a holographic display of their own. On it, hidden weapons platforms and defense systems began powering up. Technologies developed in secret, knowing that humanity couldn't be alone forever. General Marcus Zhang studied the display with grim satisfaction. If they think we're going to roll over and accept their guidance, they're about to learn something about human nature. The real question was, how would beings who had grown accustomed to unchallenged dominance react when their carefully maintained order was disrupted? As Earth prepared for the Archivist's arrival, the answer to that question would determine the fate of humanity. And in orbit around Neptune, the Vigilant maintained its watch, its crew knowing they had witnessed not just first contact, but the beginning of a conflict that would reshape the galaxy. The ultimatum. The United Nations General Assembly Hall had never felt so small. Despite its grand architecture and historic significance, it seemed diminished by the presence of the three Archivist representatives. They stood nearly 8 feet tall, their iridescent robes shifting colors in ways that defied physics, their crystalline faces refracting light into prismatic patterns. Admiral Helena Reyes, newly appointed as Earth's chief negotiator, sat across from them at a specially constructed table. Behind her, the assembled UN delegates watched in tense silence. Every word was being broadcast globally, translated into hundreds of languages in real time. Your development has exceeded acceptable parameters, the lead archivist stated, its voice resonating with harmonics that made the air vibrate. The Galactic Council has established these parameters through millennia of observation and guidance. They are not arbitrary. They are necessary. Reyes kept her expression neutral, though her hand tightened imperceptibly on her datapad. And yet you offer no explanation for these parameters, no justification for limiting human advancement. The second Archivist's crystalline face sparkled with what might have been amusement. Would you explain algebra to an infant? Some concepts require evolutionary maturity to grasp. In orbit, Captain Chen watched the proceedings from the Vigilance Bridge, her ship now part of a hastily assembled defense fleet. Dr. Patel worked beside her, continuing to analyze the encrypted data they'd recovered. "They're lying," Patel whispered, eyes fixed on her quantum interface. "These new decryptions, the parameters aren't about stability or safety. They're about control." Back in the assembly hall, the lead archivist activated a holographic display. It showed Earth, surrounded by a complex network of energy signatures. "We have already begun implementing the necessary restrictions. Your quantum communications network will be regulated. Your faster-than-light research will cease. Your military capabilities will be adjusted." Reyes stood slowly, her voice carrying clearly through the hall. "And if we refuse?" "Refusal is not an option." The third archivist spoke for the first time, its tone carrying an edge of steel beneath the harmonics. "We have watched your species for centuries. We know your capacity for violence, your tendency toward chaos. The restrictions are non-negotiable." What the archivists couldn't see, hidden beneath the UN building in a secure command center, was General Zhang coordinating with military commands worldwide. As the alien spoke of restrictions, humanity's hidden defenses continued their silent activation. "You speak of violence," Reyes replied, "yet you threaten our sovereignty. You speak of chaos, yet you seek to disrupt our natural development. Perhaps what you fear isn't our violence, but our potential." The lead archivist's crystalline face darkened. "You cannot comprehend what we fear, human. Your species is young, reckless. We have seen civilizations tear themselves apart with technologies they weren't ready to control. The restrictions are a gift." "A gift." Reyes laughed, the sound sharp in the tense chamber. "No. A cage is still a cage, no matter how gilded." She tapped her datapad, and new holographic images appeared alongside the archivist's display. They showed fragments of the decoded messages, revealing the true nature of their guidance program. "You've done this before," Rise continued, "not to protect species from themselves, but to ensure none grow powerful enough to challenge the Galactic Council's authority. How many civilizations have you stunted? How many worlds have you forced into technological regression?" The archivist's harmonics became discordant, their robes shifting to darker hues. "You dare. We dare because we must." Rise cut them off. "Humanity will not submit to your restrictions. We will not allow our potential to be limited by your fear." The lead archivist raised its crystalline hand, and every electronic device in the hall went dead. Only their own holographic display remained active. "You mistake our patience for weakness, Admiral Rise. The restrictions will be implemented. The only choice you have is whether your species accepts them willingly or—" The threat hung in the air, unfinished but clear. In orbit, the vigilant sensors detected massive energy buildups from the archivist vessel. Similar readings appeared around other major cities worldwide. "They're deploying their suppression technology," Paddle reported, her fingers flying over her console. "Trying to establish quantum locks on our defense systems." Chen smiled grimly. "Just as we expected. Signal the defense grid. Execute Protocol Prometheus." Across the globe, hidden human quantum transmitters activated, broadcasting on frequencies the archivists thought impossible for Earth's technology level. The alien suppression field wavered, encountered unexpected resistance, and began to fail. In the UN, the lead archivist's harmonics reached a pitch that cracked glasses. "What have you done?" Rise stood straighter, her voice firm. "We've learned from history, Archivist. Humanity has faced extinction-level threats before. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and our own destructive tendencies. Each time, we've emerged stronger. Did you really think we wouldn't prepare for threats from beyond our world?" The archivists' crystalline faces showed no expression, but their robes had turned a deep, angry crimson. "Then you leave us no choice. The Council will not allow—" "No," Rise interrupted again. "You leave us no choice. If you force this conflict, understand that humanity will not fight merely to survive. We will fight to win, to ensure no other young species faces your kind of guidance again." As if to emphasize her point, humanity's quantum defense grid fully activated, creating a protective field around Earth that matched the archivist's own technology. It was a clear message. Humanity was not as primitive as they had assumed. The lead archivist's voice carried both fury and disbelief. "You cannot hope to resist the full might of the Galactic Council." Reyes's response was quiet but unyielding. "Watch us." Silent preparation. In the month following the ultimatum, Earth appeared to be negotiating. Representatives met with archivist delegations, discussed terms of integration, and seemed to be coming to terms with their place in the galactic hierarchy. The archivists reported to the Council that human resistance was weakening. They couldn't have been more wrong. Deep beneath the Atacama Desert, Dr. Emily Potul stood in a vast chamber that officially didn't exist. Around her, quantum computers more advanced than anything the archivists believed humans capable of hummed with barely contained power. She wasn't alone. Similar facilities operated beneath the Antarctic ice, the Sahara sands, and the Pacific Ocean floor. Status report. Admiral Rice's hologram flickered to life beside her. The Admiral had been officially recalled from negotiations due to health concerns. In reality, she was coordinating humanity's response from a mobile command center. "The quantum veil is holding," Paddle replied, gesturing to the complex data streams floating around them. "They have no idea we're monitoring their communications. The Council truly believes we're on the verge of submission." "And Project Prometheus?" Paddle smiled, pulling up a new holographic display. It showed a network of satellites, invisible to conventional detection methods, surrounding Earth in a complex geometric pattern, ready for full deployment. "The moment they try to implement their suppression technology, we'll be ready." In orbit, Captain Chen's Vigilant maintained its patrol, now part of an openly displayed defense fleet. But the real power of Earth's space force remained hidden, scattered throughout the solar system in quantum-shielded bases built into asteroids and moons. Their arrogance is our advantage. General Zhang's voice came through the secure quantum channel. They're so convinced of their technological superiority that they haven't bothered to look deeper. The general stood in another secret facility, this one carved into Mars's Valles Marineris. Around him, rows of advanced combat mechs stood ready, weapon systems that combine human ingenuity with reverse-engineered alien technology, gathered from centuries of covert observation of their observers. How long can we maintain the deception? Rise asked, her hologram flickering between the various command centers. The archivists are growing impatient, Chen reported from the Vigilant. They've increased their scans of our visible defense systems. Sooner or later, they'll realize those systems are just the surface. Then we stick to the timeline, Rice decided. Continue the negotiations. Let them think we're wearing down. In the meantime, Commander Walsh, report on the quantum fleet. David Walsh's hologram appeared, showing him standing in what appeared to be a massive shipyard. But this was no ordinary construction facility. It existed partially out of phase with normal space-time. Another technology the archivists thought impossible for humanity to achieve. The fleet will be ready, Walsh confirmed. 30 ships, each capable of matching their most advanced vessels. The quantum drives are fully operational, and the phase shift technology works better than we hoped. We can move the entire fleet into normal space within minutes of your signal. Patel's quantum computers suddenly flashed warning signals. Speaking of signals, we're picking up increased communication between the archivist ship and the Council. They're calling for reinforcements. As expected, Rise nodded. They're preparing to force the issue. How long until their fleet arrives? Based on their quantum wake signatures, 3 days. John's hologram showed him smiling grimly. Perfect. That gives us time for the final preparations. Dr. Patel, are the quantum barriers ready? Better than ready, she replied. Bringing up new data streams. We've improved the design. The moment they try to implement their suppression technology, not only will it fail, but we'll be able to trace it back to its source and temporarily disable their own systems. The assembled leaders fell silent, each contemplating the enormity of what they were about to attempt. Humanity wasn't just planning to resist. They were preparing to challenge the entire galactic power structure. There's something else, Patel added, her expression thoughtful. In decoding their recent communications, I found evidence that we're not the first species to resist. There have been others, but the Council suppressed all records of their rebellions. What happened to them? Chen asked. The records are fragmentary, but it seems they were reduced to pre-industrial levels of technology, forced to start over under direct archivist supervision. Reyes's hologram straightened, her resolve visible even in the projected image. That won't happen to us. Humanity hasn't spent the last century preparing for this moment to fail now. She turned to address each leader in turn. Captain Chen, maintain the visible defense pattern. Let them think those ships are all we have. General Zhang, complete the deployment of the mech forces to all primary sites. Commander Walsh, begin moving the quantum fleet into final position, but maintain phase shift until my signal. And the civilian population? Zhang asked. The quantum shelters are ready, Patel confirmed. The moment hostilities begin, we can shield every major population center. The Council's trying to make an example of us. They're about to become an example themselves. As the leaders continued their preparations, none of them noticed a small anomaly in the quantum data streams. In their own arrogance, they had made the same mistake as the archivists, assuming they had accounted for all possibilities. High above Earth, in the archivist vessel, a crystalline face shifted colors in what might have been satisfaction. The humans were cleverer than expected, yes, but they weren't the first species to try hiding their true capabilities. The coming conflict would test not just humanity's preparation, but their understanding of what it truly meant to wage war among the stars. The next 3 days would determine not just Earth's fate, but the future of galactic civilization itself. The deception revealed. The Galactic Council's reinforcement fleet arrived with deliberate spectacle, dropping out of quantum space in a display of light and energy visible from Earth's surface. Over 300 ships, each one dwarfing humanity's largest visible vessels, arranged themselves in an intimidating battle formation. Admiral Rice stood in her command center, watching the holographic display with calculated calm. "Right on schedule," she murmured, "and exactly where we wanted them." The lead archivist vessel transmitted on all frequencies, their message echoing across Earth's communications networks. "This is your final opportunity. Submit to Council authority, or face immediate technological suppression." Before Rice could respond, Dr. Patel's quantum systems flashed urgent warnings. "They're powering up their suppression field. But something's wrong. The energy signature is different from our projections." In orbit, Captain Chen watched as strange, shimmering waves of energy began emanating from the Council fleet. "Multiple signatures detected," she reported. "They're not just trying to suppress our technology. They're attempting total quantum isolation." The archivist's voice came again, tinged with what sounded like satisfaction. "Did you think we hadn't planned for resistance? This new suppression field will sever all quantum connections within your solar system. Your hidden preparations will be useless." Ray smiled. "Now, Doctor." Patel's fingers flew across her quantum interface. Across the solar system, humanity's true defenses began to reveal themselves. The quantum barrier they'd prepared wasn't just a shield. It was a vast web of interconnected systems, designed not to block the Council's technology, but to absorb and redirect it. Impossible. The archivist's harmonics crackled with disbelief as their suppression field encountered unexpected resistance. "These quantum configurations, you couldn't have developed this level of technology. Couldn't we?" Rice's voice was steel wrapped in silk. "You watched us for centuries, thinking we never saw you. But we did. Every time you tested your technology near our world, we were learning. Every probe you thought went undetected, we studied. You taught us more than you'll ever know." From their hidden positions throughout the solar system, humanity's quantum fleet began shifting back into normal space. But these weren't simple warships. Each vessel was a culmination of human ingenuity combined with centuries of reverse-engineered alien technology. Commander Walsh's voice came through the quantum network. "All ships present and accounted for. Phase shift successful." The Council fleet's formation wavered as human ships appeared seemingly from nowhere, their quantum signatures unlike anything in known space. But the archivists weren't finished. Their flagship's crystalline surface began to pulse with strange dark energy. "You understand nothing," the lead archivist declared. "You clever, clever children." The archivist's voice resonated on frequencies that shouldn't have been possible. "You forced our hand. For the first time in 50,000 years, we must shed our observer's guise." Dr. Patel's quantum readings were going haywire. "Admiral, their ship isn't just a ship anymore. It's becoming a focal point for energies we can barely detect, let alone understand." Admiral Rice stood firm in her command center, watching as the situation evolved beyond their careful planning. "General Zhang, status of the Prometheus Protocol. Holding stable, but we're detecting unusual quantum fluctuations. Whatever they're becoming, it's affecting our local reality modifications." The transformed archivist vessel now resembled a crystalline lotus, each petal a window into what looked like different dimensions. When it spoke again, its voice seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. "We are the guardians of the cosmic framework," it announced. "The Council was never about mere technological suppression. We maintain the very boundaries between realities, preventing the collapse of the multiverse itself." Captain Chen's voice cut through the quantum network. "Multiple dimensional rifts detected. They're trying to rewrite our section of space-time." But humanity had one final card to play. In the depths of her quantum facility, Dr. Patil activated a sequence she'd hoped they'd never need to use. "Admiral," she called, "Project Oracle is ready." Rise nodded grimly. "Do it." Throughout the solar system, hidden quantum processors activated simultaneously, executing an algorithm that was part mathematics, part physics, and part something else entirely. It was humanity's ultimate achievement, a system designed to comprehend and manipulate the deepest layers of reality itself. The transformed archivist paused its dimensional manipulation, sensing the change. "What is this?" "Understanding," Rise replied simply. "True understanding. You thought we were just pushing boundaries with our technology, but we've been studying something far more fundamental, the nature of consciousness itself and its role in shaping reality." Project Oracle wasn't a weapon or a shield. It was a bridge, a way to comprehend the higher dimensional mathematics that the Guardians used to maintain cosmic stability. And with understanding came the ability to communicate on their level. The quantum network hummed with new energy as Paddle fed the Oracle's insights directly to Reyes. When the Admiral spoke again, her words carried weight beyond their meaning. "We see you now," she said, her voice resonating with Oracle-enhanced understanding. "We see what you truly are, what you've been trying to prevent, and we understand why you fear change so much." The crystalline lotus wavered, its dimensional windows flickering. "Then you know why we must maintain control, why we cannot allow unfettered advancement." "No," Rise countered. "We understand why you think you must, but you're wrong. Evolution, even dangerous evolution, is essential. The multiverse isn't a framework to be preserved in amber. It's a living thing, meant to grow and change." The Oracle's calculations projected possible futures, billions of them, showing how stability through stagnation would eventually lead to entropy and death. But it also showed another path. "Join us," Rise offered, "not as controllers or subjects, but as partners. Humanity's drive to explore and advance, combined with your understanding of cosmic mechanics, together, we could find a better way." For a long moment, the transformed Guardian was silent. Around it, reality itself seemed to hold its breath. In 50,000 years, it finally said, "No species has ever suggested partnership." "Because you never gave them the chance," Chen interjected. "You saw their potential as a threat rather than an opportunity." The crystalline lotus began to pulse with new light, not the threatening display of before, but something almost contemplative. The Oracle's projections shifted, showing probability curves merging toward a new future. "Your Oracle," the Guardian mused. "It shows you possibilities we ourselves cannot see, because you approach reality differently, because you dream." "We do more than dream," Ray said. "We make those dreams reality, not through control, but through cooperation and innovation. Join us in that endeavor." The Guardian's form began to shift again, but this time not toward weapon or threat. It was changing into something new, something that incorporated both its ancient knowledge and humanity's fresh perspective. "Perhaps," it said, its voice carrying both age-old wisdom and newfound wonder, "it is time for the cosmic framework to evolve as well." As the Guardian's transformation completed, the Council fleet received new orders, not to retreat, not to attack, but to witness. To witness the moment when humanity proved that the greatest power in the universe wasn't control, it was the ability to adapt, to grow, to change. In her command center, Admiral Reyes watched as the Oracle's projections stabilized around a future unlike anything either humanity or the Guardians had imagined. A future where the boundaries between species and civilizations blurred, where advancement wasn't suppressed but guided, where the cosmic dance of reality itself became a collaboration rather than a constraint. "Well," she said, allowing herself a small smile, "I suppose this means we'll need to revise our first contact protocols." The Guardian, its form now a beautiful synthesis of crystalline knowledge and human innovation, replied with what might have been laughter. "Indeed, and perhaps it is time for the galaxy to learn a new definition of order, one that embraces change rather than fears it." As Earth's sun rose on a new era, Humanity had achieved something far greater than military victory. They had proven that the true measure of a civilization wasn't its ability to dominate or control, but its capacity to understand, to adapt, and to transform conflict into cooperation. The stars themselves seemed to shine brighter, as if acknowledging that the universe had just become a far more interesting place.